everybody. This is Mia with Chalk with Mia. I am here tonight because I'm working on a piece, a custom request from somebody, and I thought, you know what, this might be a fun one to do live because I'm going to be having some glitter and a circus theme and a little bit of fun. So I don't know how long it will be because it's got some custom fonts on it. It's got a mix and match of transfers, and so I just thought this would be a ton of fun. My son is on. He is up in his bedroom commenting, so if you see comments from Chalk with Mia, that is actually Dylan hanging out in his room. He's, I think, split screening it with a game and this live. So what I've got here is I found a really awesome frame at either an auction or a thrift store. I can't really remember, and it had this glass in it. So what I did is I took some chalkboard paint and I sprayed one side of it with chalkboard paint. And so then that way I could get a nice dark finish and I could chalk on it. Now I can chalk just on the glass as well, and I have done that, but I can't seal it. Well, I can, but the glass sealers are finicky, and I have not perfected that yet. So, so I always just chalk one side, and then, or spray paint one side, and then chalk it. So if you join me, if you're on, I know I didn't announce that I was going live, but if you happen to catch the live on a replay, if you don't see that, hold on, if you don't see the live notice right there, it means that you're catching the replay. Means I'm not live. So please put hashtag replay, and if you have any questions or comments, make sure you tag me in it, Chalk with Mia, so that way I know that the comment is there and I can answer it for you. Okay. And there's Dylan's message. So, and if you have any questions along the way, please don't hesitate to ask. If you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, I am a independent designer for them. They are a direct sales company. But mostly I do it because I love the product and I love crafting, and so it allows me to do that. All right, so I've just got some wax here. I am going to put, and some people use Minwax. I happen to use the Dixie Belle Best Dang Wax in the clear version. It looks white in the can, but it will be clear. Anytime you get a surface that's not purchased from Chalk Couture, you want to wax it. And it's kind of like, you can think of it like priming your walls when you go to paint them. You don't have to do it, but when you do, it saves time, it saves money, because the paint is going to absorb so much better on that surface because you filled in all the little holes and all the little glitches with the primer. Same thing with this wax. We're just giving it a nice smooth surface for our products to sit on and to absorb and work. So you do it just like you're waxing a car. You put the wax on, and then you take your rag and you buff it out. Okay. And what I'm trying to do is, because this is a pretty sheen surface with my chalkboard paste, or chalkboard spray paint, I am just trying to get the streaks off. Okay. All right. So what I'm doing tonight is I had mimicked. I can't take credit for it. I really can't. I went to convention this year in Utah, and they of course had all of these new transfers on display, and they had designers who have been with the company for a while make these really beautiful pieces, home decor pieces. And somebody had taken one we have a circus transfer, and the movie with Hugh Jackman, that's kind of the movie about the Ringling Brothers guy. I can't think of what the name of that movie is. Somebody tell me. But anyways, they had done the circus tent and done A Million Dreams Are Keeping Me Awake. So I had done it when I got home, or actually quite a while after I got home, because it was just to die for beautiful. And I sold that piece, and then somebody said, hey, can you do a different saying on it? I want it to say, and I have my little piece of paper somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. I've got squeegees on the floor. I want mine to say something a little bit different. Same movie though. Off to a World We Call Our Own. Sorry, it's the name of my live tonight. So I said, yeah, I can absolutely do that. And so, so I did. So that's what we are doing tonight. So I am just prepping this, and I actually had done it before, so full disclosure. So I had come up with a thought that I could use this chalkboard contact paper, and instead of spray painting it, it would be a nice, clean, pure surface, and it works wonderfully with our products. The problem is I live in a really humid state, and it was in the boutique I sell in, and the humidity caused the contact paper to bubble just a little bit. So I need to get a better adhesive to add to it to keep it down. So I'm redoing this, which is fine by me because it's such a beautiful piece, for the customer, because I didn't want them to have, you know, a slight little bubble in there or whatever. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with, so Chalk Couture is a home decor product company, and here is our circus tent. Okay, and it's silk screens. So think of stencils, except for this is like t-shirt silk screens, and it has the screen mesh in there. So when you put your paste on there, it helps give you cleaner lines. Like if you've ever worked with a stencil, and you know it can bleed and it goes over and all that stuff, this kind of helps it from doing that. So our transfers are very sticky. This one I have used several times, so I did not fuzz it up, but sometimes if they're brand new, we'll put them on our shirts or on towels. If you see any other Facebook Lives or YouTube videos, you'll see designers doing that. All they're doing is adding a little bit of fuzz to the back, because we want to make sure that it's not so sticky it pulls up whatever surface we're laying it on. Okay, so I am going to, usually I eyeball things, but since this is a custom order, I want to make sure that I'm at least close. Yep, pretty darn good. Close in distance. Okay, so what I do is I lay it down, and now I'm going to take a squeegee, and I'm going to run my squeegee over the transfer, because I want to get any air bubbles out, and that is where the secret sauce is in our transfers. So if there is a bubble, it could cause that paste to kind of bubble up underneath it and bleed out as well. Not as bad as a real stencil most of the time, but still. So you want to do the best that you can to get those air bubbles out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to do the tent lines in red, and I'm going to do the flag and these little ornate pieces in this mustard yellow. And the reason for that is, dun, 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 I'm going to sprinkle them with glitter. I am so excited. I love glitter. Love it. Glitter, glitter, glitter. Okay, and that's why I absolutely love this time of the year, the last quarter of the year, because I can be gaudy and nobody can judge me, because glitter is awesome. Okay, so I can do this one of two ways, and I've done it both ways. I could do the glitter section first, lift up the transfer, and then do the red. But what I'm going to do, and I've done it the opposite way too, and how I'm going to do it tonight, I am going to do the red first, dry it, clean off my transfer, lay it back down, and then do the flag and all the ornate pieces. Because of the glitter, I don't want I want to make sure the red is completely dry. So, or maybe I'll do it the other way. Maybe I'll do the glitter first. And then, yeah, I'm going to do the glitter first and then the red. Just because I don't want that glitter getting in all the other places. Okay, so are you guys ready? Can I get some thumbs up, some hearts, something? Let me know you're here. I see there's several people. And I'm going to have one of my little hot tamales here. Sorry. I know a lot of people have a hard time watching people eat on camera, but there's my little energy. Okay. Okay, so what did I say I'm doing first? The glitter, right? Doing the glitter first. So I've got my paste here. And the great thing about Chalk Couture is it's only permanent for as long as you want it to be. So if I did this decor item, and later on I decide, you know what, I don't want that anymore, I want something else, as long as I don't seal it with something, I can take a wet rag and a disinfectant wipe, clean it off, and put something totally new on it. So that is what sets us apart with our products. And the chalk paste, we want it to be like a yogurt consistency, okay? See how it's a little runny? Now I say marshmallow fluff because I don't eat yogurt. But we want it to have a little bit of runniness to it, but not, or a little fluidity, but we don't want it to be running, okay? All right. Bad choice on the hot tamale, now it's stuck in my teeth. Okay, so I've got squeegees, and they come this size, just silicone rubber. And sometimes I cut it in thirds, sometimes I cut it even smaller, especially for tight spaces. So I'm going to use a really, really small one. Okay, so now I'm going to want to move kind of quick because our product is chalk based. It will dry fairly quickly. So I'm going to put on a nice thick layer of the chalk paste. And then I'm going to go back at the end after I get these ornate pieces. And this, I'm not too concerned about being precise in these corners. If I get a little bit over, the great thing is it's just chalk, and we can fix that. Okay, so I am trying not to go too over, but at least get the spaces where these ornate pieces are on the transfer. Basically at the corners, the flags on the top, and the eave of the door, because that's where the distinction is, where the prettiness lies. I just love, you know, this is a musical, and I gotta say, I mean, I like all kinds of movies. Musicals are not really my favorite, but this was a great movie. The Greatest Showman, that's what it's called, The Greatest Showman. Did somebody say? No, it came to my head. Okay, I didn't read it. It is really good. Okay, I'm almost done with this. Now, the glitter is going to come when we lift this transfer, and I want to put it on when the paste is still wet so that the glitter will have something to stick to. Okay, so once we lay down our paste, we want to then pull up all the excess and put it right back in the container. And I may have taken a little too long because it's starting to dry on me a little bit. We're going to see how this goes. Okay, I always forget doing a live. It always takes a little bit longer because I'm talking and chalking and having a little bit of fun. Okay, so I want to get my glitter ready. And what I'm going to do is you always want to pull from two sides. Oh no, I did let it sit too long. Okay, we'll fix that in a second. Oh no, yep, there we go. The chalkboard paint is coming up. Okay, so I have got an epic fail going on right now, but I'm going to show you guys what I would typically do, okay? But I'm going to have to redo this. So then you just spray the glitter right on top. I can't believe that happened. Yuck. I didn't let it dry. I was a little impatient. I do have another piece over there I can do this on. But you do that and then tap your glitter and rub it off. And then you have a beautiful glittery piece. I don't know if you guys can see the glitter. It's all around, but I take a little paintbrush and I scoot it off. Hey, Billy. Yes, it is a live action of your project. And look, my chalkboard paint came up. I was a little impatient, but I have another piece waiting for you. So what I'm probably going to do, you know what? I'm just going to grab it and we'll do that one and we'll see. But yes, so my customers online watching, which you get to see how this works, which is so awesome. Okay, let me grab the other piece, and because you're online, we're going to keep rolling so that you can see this, which will make it even more awesome. Okay, now the one thing I do have to say about glitter that I don't love is that you get it everywhere. They're like the cockroach of the craft world. Okay. Now this one, I actually And Billy, you'll have to tell me when you get this. So this one, I used a Dixie Belle Slick Surface, I think it's called, which is like a primer. And then I put down the paint so that it wouldn't lift like that one did. The only difference is you can see a little bit of the streaking of that under product. So you'll have to tell me if you're okay with that when you get it, because I want you to be happy because this is such an awesome piece. I'm so excited to do it. So let me clean up this glitter, because if not, I will get it absolutely everywhere. All right, I'm excited that you're on. That is really cool. So my son, I don't know if you saw earlier, my son is commenting for me. He's 11. He sometimes is on these lives with me. But he's an awesome commenter, and so he helps me out. So this is our transfer, wet and goopy, but this is the great thing. So we can use our transfers like 10 to 12 times. And you know what? We're live and mistakes happen. And this is actually why I like lives, because anybody who's interested in Chalk Couture or making a project themselves or joining a class, you're going to see that one, everybody makes mistakes. And number two, with Chalk Couture, they're pretty easily fixed. And so, as I threw paper towels at myself. So anybody can do it, really. Okay, that's not going to affect it. So now I'm just getting as much of the excess water off, and I'm going to hit it with my blow dryer. Okay. Yeah, actually, Billy, I've been waiting for, the reason it's been taking me a little bit of time is because all of this humidity really affects the spray paint and stuff. And so I did another project the other night, and I spray painted it with polyurethane, and it ghosted on me a little bit because of the humidity levels. So it's just so finicky. Sometimes you got to wait until the weather cooperates. Okay. Okay, so we just dried the transfer a little bit. And what I'm going to do is, again, wax my surface. And this is just Dixie Belle's Dusting Wax. And again, if you're just joining me, like I was saying earlier, it's like kind of like priming your walls for paint. You're really just giving a nice prime area for the chalk paste to adhere to, and to give it kind of a nice surface so that it doesn't absorb completely into the backdrop of what you're chalking on. Okay, it's like waxing your car. Wax on, wax off. Another great movie. And again, if anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate. Billy, I think if you're still on, it might just be you and me. You and me, my son upstairs, and the fence post. But that's okay. All right. So again, take number 2. We are going to lay this down. And I'm leaving a little bit of space at the bottom because of the frame. I don't want to, let's see, I have a picture of what I did before. Yeah, that's pretty. I don't want it to be too far up, but I also don't want it running into the frame of the picture, or of the glass, I guess. Okay, so where did my tape measure go? Here we go. So I just want to make sure that we're, again, oh, wow, that's spot on. Oh, what I did before. Okay, so we're going to be a little bit quicker this time with this paste. And actually, I'm going to get a wet paper towel ready, because that's what we do sometimes, is we do lay wet paper towels over top of the surface to keep the moisture in there if we're going to be taking a little bit longer than we want. So let me wet this paper towel. And there's a couple of different techniques. I can lay a wet paper towel over top of it. I can pull it up as I go. There's a couple of different ways, but since I'm working with glitter, I don't want to pull up as I go because I need to put that glitter down almost immediately. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. Okay. And I'm going to put a thicker layer so that way it doesn't dry as quick. Okay. As you guys can see, I am moving much faster this time. And I've done this project, you know, like I said, this will be the third, fourth time maybe I've done this. So I've done it before. So I know it can be done. But just like with any artwork, it, you know, depends on the day, depends on the mood, depends on the product. Okay. All right. Do this little corner piece. Okay, and now take off the excess, and I'll lay this on top. Okay, here we go. Oh, much better. Yay! All right, so I'm going to put that in the water because I'm going to clean it, and now I'm going to take my glitter, and I am literally, excuse me, going to cover this entire artwork with glitter. And I will take the excess and put it right back in this container, so I'm not really wasting a whole lot. I'm going to let it sit for a couple seconds because I want to give it an opportunity to really kind of absorb into that space. And while that is happening, who's still with me? I got two of you on here. I just don't know who you are. While that is doing that, I will clean the transfer to be able to put the red down because that will be the next stage. I'm going to lay it right back on top, and then we're going to do the red tint area. Okay. All right. Let me get this out. We're going to do exactly what we just did the first time, and we're going to clean this off. This is just a disinfectant wipe. No secret sauce there. And it can be any brand. Doesn't need to be Clorox. Oops. Throw that away. And get some excess water off of here. Okay. Now I'm going to hit it with my blow dryer after I get some of this off of here. Okay. Because, whoo, you can get that wet table and that glitter won't ever go away. All right. Make sure to hit my blow dryer down here and the glitter doesn't go. Could you imagine? So how excited is everybody? It's Friday tomorrow. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to kind of hang it out over here so that way I don't get this glitter on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get as much of it on this card as I can. And I've got a paintbrush here. And I am going to just scoot this glitter right on off. Okay. And it's going to look like a little mess right now, but I promise it will turn out to be beautiful. But it is kind of funny, whenever I do anything with glitter, my husband will be like, "You've got glitter on your forehead." And I will have it there for days. I mean, I can take shower after shower, and man, it just doesn't matter. Like I said, glitter, I love glitter, but it is like the cockroach of the crafting world, because this stuff will survive the apocalypse. I swear. I know it looks like a hot mess right now, but we are working it. Okay. No questions? Nobody has any questions? Since this is a lot of excess glitter, I try to save some of it and put it right back in the container. Try not to waste if I don't have to. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is take a rag and wipe. Oh, glitter's so pretty. And actually, I kind of don't mind if some of this glitter gets up on the top and stays, because it'll be like sparkles in the night sky, because we're going to add some stars later, and this will just add to that, I think. I know this part is probably boring, sorry, but you can kind of see how tedious you got to get them sometimes with these specific pieces. Okay. Now, again, wiping it again. So what I'm going to do is bring this over my trash can. And I'm going to have to definitely vacuum later, because it is like Tinkerbell exploded in here. All right, so let me hold this up. And I'm going to show the detail to you guys here in a second, just so you can see. And believe me, I know I'm missing my trash can all over the place, but at least some of it's getting in there. Oh my goodness, that is just beautiful. All right, I'm going to show a close-up of this for you guys so you can see. And I've got a few little areas where my gold did go over, so I can just clean that up really quickly. But I know it doesn't make much sense here. You can actually see this is when I did it the first time and it bubbled on me. So this is what it's going to look like in the end. Okay. This is what it looks like right now. And you can see the little sparkles? That is the glitter. That is the awesomeness of the glitter. Okay. So now, and what I'm going to do at the end is I'll spray it with polyurethane, which will seal most of the glitter. I will promise it. I will admit it does not seal all of the glitter. You'll still have a few little things here and there, but for the most part, it will seal it. Okay, so I need to clean up that little area down here. So because this is chalk paste, and we always say, don't worry, just paste. I can literally take my finger, the wet napkin. So this is why I seal products that I sell in the shop, because actually I can run my hand across it and it would be fine, but if anything wet gets on it, it can smear. So just like that, a little bit of a wet rag and a little bit of force, I can get rid of the areas that were messed up. I need to stop using that rag. It's got glitter all over it. All right, I'm going to hit it with the blow dryer just to try to get some excess glitter. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the rest of the tent with the red, and I want to make sure my paste is ready before I get started. And again, the way I get it ready is I've got a little makeup stir stick here, And I am just going to, ooh, this is very runny. That's my paste. Make sure that it's got a good consistency. And let me see. It's red orange. I don't want red orange. I want red. Tints are red, right? Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're going to use this red. Okay. All these little pieces. Okay. So now I'm going to take this transfer. Now, whenever we layer, we want to make sure that we don't press too hard on the surface that's already been done, because when I go to pull this up, I don't want this transfer pulling up what we've already done. Okay. So it is, it does take a little bit of patience, but it's not difficult. Okay, and I try to line this up as best as I can. And you don't have to be an exact science, but you do need to be in the ballpark, because you want to make sure that it all lines up, that it looks okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the squeegee and I'm going to just push down on the areas that I am going to be using the chalk paste on. Okay. I'm not going to push down on the areas that have already been done, again, because I don't want that glitter. It's okay if the glitter comes up, but I don't want to pull it up with the yellow paste. I'm seeing little glitter spots everywhere. Okay. I think that's pretty darn good. All right. I have a few pieces that are coming up over here, but what I'll do is I'll hold that down when I do it. Okay, so I'm going to take my squeegee and dip it in the red. This beautiful, beautiful red. Probably looks orange on the screen. And I'm just going to pull it right over top of this tint area. Okay. And with chalk paste, it doesn't really matter if you go up and down, side to side. Just try to be consistent, whatever you do. Okay. Like I said, you want to move sort of quickly because it is chalk based, so it does dry quicker than like an acrylic paint would or an oil or something like that. Okay. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up as I go. Because it's so large, I don't want to have issues with it drying on me. So I'm actually going to turn this thing sideways, and we're going to pull this up. Oh, that's so pretty. As we go. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, yeah, you can see a little bit of it. Sorry. I will definitely show it to you guys, but right now, timing is more important than your view, I'm sorry to say. I'm just cautious not to get any bubbles, which is probably the harder part since I am pulling this up as I go. But the other great thing about some of our transfers is they're intentionally not perfect, meaning they've got missed spaces in them sometimes, and like the letters, and people go, oh, I think I did it wrong. Nope, that's how they're supposed to be, because that shabby chic rustic look is in. And so they they make some of our transfers intentionally like that, which makes it kind of nice because then you don't have to be perfect with it either. And then they end up looking fantastic once you look at the whole thing completed. Okay. All right, so we're going to keep pulling up. All right, I do have a few little missed areas or dragged areas, but I can fix those, and I'm going to show you guys how. And I'm going to show this to you so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, so this is the tent. Is that not beautiful? What do you guys think? Good? Not good? All right, so you see over on this side, I don't know if you guys can, over on the far side, there's a few areas, I can't point, but over here, there we go. There's a few areas that are a little blurry because when I picked it up, the paste was a little runnier than it should have been, and so it dragged. But we can fix that. That's not a problem. So I've got a little bit of a Q-tip here, and I'm going to get the end of it wet. And what I can do is literally drag it over that space. And red is a pretty strong pigment, so it will take a couple swipes through to get all that red up. But in the end, it'll be beautiful. I've got some down here. So as I clean up these areas just a little bit, and I'll show you guys it at the end so you can kind of see what it looks like. Throw that one away. Oh, my disinfectant wipes. Okay. Let's see here. I've got a bag full of tricks over here, a bunch of little tools, and this is just a silicone tipped clay tool that people who work with clay use. Have I lost everybody? I know this part's kind of boring, and I figured I would lose people throughout, but what I love about this project is it uses so many different techniques. Okay. And so I like it because it's a really great thing to show you the diversity of what Chalk Couture can do. Okay, I'm trying to get in this tight little spot here with my fingernail. There we go. All right, so now that I have cleaned up some areas, and it's funny, it was on the second half of this thing. The first half picked up beautifully. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is, again, grab my paintbrushes, and it does not work like an acrylic paint, okay? But sometimes you can go back in and just dab a couple areas, especially with this one because it does, this one is very liquidy. Probably maybe a little too liquidy. I probably should have grabbed a different container maybe, but it seems to do okay. I'm just cleaning up some of the areas. All right, so apparently all right, so I'm going to grab this container, And there's just a few areas that were a little blotchy. Now my hands are wet and I can't. Oh, there we go. Do it with the dry hand, Mia. Okay, so I've got this paintbrush. I'm going to wet the end of my paintbrush and dip it in the red and go over where it blotched up on me a little bit. Okay, so that's fixed. And smooth out some of these areas. I'm just scraping this area here. Now this is just because I tend to be a little OCD, and especially if I'm doing a custom piece, I want the customer to be happy, and I want it to be, you know, as good as I can get it, right? And so some of these areas you may not even notice otherwise, but I just want to make sure that it looks finished and it looks good. Okay. Okay. Now to that paintbrush. And I'm just cleaning up this little area here. Really didn't want to clean up earlier. There we go. And then I'm going to blow dry it, and that way we'll get some of this paint or paste, sorry, set in there so it won't look odd. All right, so now we are going to blow dry. A little bit more. Okay. All right, you guys ready to see it? Let me cover these up. I know there's probably designers out there going, cover your paste. You've got a blow dryer out. And I'll clean the edge of that later. Okay, guys, so here is the circus tent. What do you guys think? See? No more runny, blotchy areas. Love it. Okay. All right, so now we need to do the top portion. Okay. And just making sure I got everything. Okay. And again, I have some little red splotches from my fingers, but you know what? Like we say, it's just chalk. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I just want to make sure. Oh, hey, Pam. Okay, for some reason, my comments were not scrolling up. That is so weird. D, hi. Oh my gosh, Connie, hi. I can't believe I've missed all these things. My screen is being so weird. Oh, thanks for being here, guys. I'm so sorry I missed all this earlier. Hopefully Dylan's got you taken care of, though. Oh, see, my screen is glitching on me. Dylan, is it glitching on you? No, he's not listening. Okay. Yay! Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you joining. I didn't realize. Okay. So I am so sorry, but my comments are not being shown. I can't see them for some reason. So I apologize if I didn't say hi or didn't respond. My computer's being a little glitchy. Hey, Becky. All right. So it's getting there. Oh, here we go. Krista, hey, Donna, hey. Oh, thank you, Donna. I appreciate the congratulations. Oh, how cute. Thank you, Jessica. Hello. Okay, now it's starting to catch up. Woohoo! I appreciate you guys joining in and commenting. Thank you. I apologize I didn't see all that earlier. But you guys get a good experience of me just rambling and talking and rambling. Okay, let me clean up the edge of this container because it was a little gunky. All right, so now we're going to work at the top part, okay? And we're going to work with these fonts. And I'm going to show you guys how I do fonts. And everybody does them probably a little bit differently, to be honest with you. But I have, okay, so we're going to put off to a world we call our own. And I do have some fonts that have the word world, see, to the world. So this is the joy, I think this is the joy to the world transfer. So I'm going to use world here. And from the farmers, I don't know which one it was, but the word grown, I'm just not going to do the G and the R. We're going to do the word own. There we go. So that way I don't have to do so many custom, but we are going to use our fonts. So let me get the words off to A. That's what we need to do. And we're going to do it in the Curvy Pretty fonts. So here's my O. Okay, O, F, F, off, O, F, F. I've got these are just coupon organizers, and I put all of my fonts in here by letter. And it helps me. A lot of people do it different ways, but this is what helps me. O, F, F. And then I've already got the, oh, I need the other O going in. They have one with the tail coming out the right-hand side. 2. I need the T and the A. Okay. Page. Has anybody seen The Greatest Showman? Have you guys seen that movie? It is so good. I love it. So I was so excited. One, when I saw this at convention, and then when I did it, and Billy, if you're still on, he's my customer. He's what I'm making it for. He said, hey, can you make it with these lyrics? And I'm like, yes, I absolutely can. Okay, so this is part of the tricky part, okay? Now, I tend to eyeball it. We do have tape that you can buy from Chalk Couture that helps you line up your letters. I have not figured that bad boy out yet. So I tend to, and you know what we'll do? We're actually going to work backwards. I'm going to put the word own on here so I know how much space I need. But yeah, we're going to work backwards because I need to know All right, I'm kind of centering those around the flags, but I am going to use my tape measure to make sure that, let's see, I've got almost 6 inches there. Woo! And I've got almost 7 inches. So I need to come over this way. Because I want to make sure that it is, oh, I did that. Whoa, I am not doing a very good job eyeballing this morning, or this evening. Maybe I should quit now while I'm ahead. Calling it this morning. Let's see how 16 inches, so 8 inches is going to be the middle. Let's see, I'm at 6 3/4. I'm getting closer. Okay, slightly to the left. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing. And like I said, I'm not going to do the G and the R. I'm just going to do the, okay, we're getting pretty close there. All right, so so now what I'm going to do is, again, I'm pushing this down to get all the air bubbles out. And if I'm not mistaken, before I had used, I'm going to use custard, I think, because I'm going to use white for the stars. And I don't want them to compete with each other. So I think that's what I had done before. And custard is just a muted white. It's a cream. Oops. Okay. So now that I've got the word own ready to go, make sure I'm not missing any more comments. I'm telling you, my computer is just acting all kinds of weird. All right. Now, I use custard a lot, so it does not need to be stirred. I use that stuff like it's going out of style. It became one of my favorite colors very quickly because it's not that stark white, so it tends to be very pretty on a lot of different surfaces because it's got that cream tone to it. Although stark white is beautiful on some surfaces, it's too much on others. And so this custard kind of fits the bill perfectly. All right, so again, we want to pull evenly so we don't stretch our transfer. Beautiful. I'm telling you, every time, I've been doing this a year, and I think almost every time I pull up a transfer, I'm like, oh, beautiful. I know, it's so silly. Okay, I'm going to show this to you guys so you can see it. I am going through a lot of paper towels tonight. Normally, and stuff, I don't normally go through that many, I promise. But I'm trying to make sure. So here we go. Again, we're working backwards with our fonts because I want to be able to know how much space I need. Okay, so off to a world we call our. So I'm going to do the top one now so I know how much space I have in between so I don't run out of space on the top. There we go. All right, so these I'm actually going to do in teal. The own in the world I'm doing in the custard, but the other ones I'm doing in the couture teal, which is a very pretty, it's kind of a nice accent piece. I'm telling you. You know what it is? This is like a little MacBook Pro, and I am so used to my computer, and I don't know how to work this thing. Oh, favorite custard, so pretty. Yes. Oh, wait. Jaimia, is this? Oh, Billy. So, yeah, that was really, yeah, I agree. The custard is very pretty. Okay, so now we're going to do the off to a world. Now, this is where I kind of, oh, wrong eyeball it a little bit. And part of it is, you know, when you're doing with custom letters, it's very hard to measure out the spacing. It just is. I mean, you can do the best that you can. I used to take a One way that you can do it is I would take, this is the backing of our transfers, and you can take it and line them up here. So I put the O, the F, F, and overlay them and lay it down here and pull it up. And that works just fine. But I've learned that just eyeballing it works just as well. So, okay, sorry. All right. Okay. My son's bedtime. All right, Dylan. Good night, bud. Everybody say good night to Dylan. He's going to jump off. All right, so I am just mixing up this teal. Okay, I know I've had you guys on for a while. This will go a little bit faster than the bottom part, I promise. Okay, so this is the O. And I'll show you guys what I do. It's fairly simple, and probably not very technique driven or specific, but it tends to work for me. Okay, so I do my first letter. Yay, so pretty. Normally I'd hit it with a blow dryer. All right, so I get my second letter, F, and I literally match. So I'm going to match the edge, this little part over here, the left side of the F, to the O where it starts to flip up. Right about the middle of the F. So that way the spacing is good. Oh, awesome. All right, I'm going to show this to you guys in a second, I promise. Now I'm going to find that little F where it goes up. I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm actually going to lay my F down over top of the other one and scoot it over until it reaches that edge. Okay. And I'm being careful not to let the transfer part lay down on the word before it because I'm not blow drying it because my son's trying to get me going to sleep here. But here we go. So here's the word off. Okay. O-F-F. Good. Can you guys see that? Okay. All right, I'm trying to just make sure I'm not missing any comments. Okay, so there's the OFF. All right, so off to A. Okay, so I've got a picture of what it looked like before over here on my phone. That's what I keep looking at. Okay, off. Now, again, I just try to center my letters over the space so that it will be somewhat in the right area. And again, because there's different fonts and different colors, your eye is not going to catch too much of it being, if it's off. Now, if it's way off, yeah, absolutely, you're going to catch it. But if it's just a smidgen higher or lower, and I'm talking a smidge, most likely your eye's not going to catch that. And if it does, you know,